Welcome to part 3 of the Mount Soledad Transmitter Tour. Mount Soledad is one of the main radio broadcast sites for the San Diego metro area. My host is Dean Imhoff, and if you missed the other 2 parts of this San Diego adventure, well, you've missed a lot. But don't fear, I will leave a card up here in the corner. This site has been around for broadcast since the early 1950s.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. There you go, 1951. Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so this site has been here and broadcasting since 1951. Oh yeah, and it even tells you what company it was. Yeah, there it goes. I knew it was here somewhere, but yeah. So that goes to show radio's been around for a long time.
Is that Kenneth Broadcasting?
Yeah, I think so.
This site has many different tenants, and many of the big signals for San Diego come from this site.
So when the MF engineer is David Pells, he's the one responsible for San Diego. So again, he'll come up here. I help him move stuff around, get stuff installed. It's all part of what we do as an engineering community. It's very nice. Yeah. So this is Caleb for here. This used to be, before all this transmitters started moving around, it used to be at the next hill over. But they moved it out of there because they wanted to get it up here, let it better coverage. The antenna's in a better place. The nice thing about EMF is that they're really good about keeping all their sites consistent. One engineer, like me, can come in here and look at it, and if I go to another one of their sites, which I often do, they look exactly the same. Yeah. I had a nice relationship. Had a nice relationship with EMF for probably 15 years now. So this is one of the 6 stations that I will check on once a month. Because again, FCC requirement means to make sure that you have positive control of your transmitter and you have the ability to turn up and down the power and that you monitor the modulations where it's supposed to be. EMF has all this stuff run into their box here that sends all that information back to the EMF NOC. So when I come check on the sites, number one, I'm just doing a visual check, make sure there's nothing going on. Everything looks the way it's supposed to look. If there's a problem, then I call the NOC and say, hey, there's a problem here. You might want to get somebody to send out. Like we've had Relios fail, we've had other pieces of equipment that fail. Okay, we'll get it out. And then they get it out, and sometimes they'll send it to me. Other times the EMF employee will come up down here and install it and just let me know what he's doing. I have a great relationship with them. So this is one of the 6 stations that I visit, for them. Like I said, just making sure FCC compliance, that's what they need. Because the one guy that covers this area in Las Vegas, Paris, some stations in Riverside. So he's like the chief operator designated. Yeah. So there's no way that he can get out to all these transmitters physically in the time that he has in a month. Because theoretically, you're supposed to check on this stuff like once a month, once every 4 weeks or so, just to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. But the interesting thing with the FCC is that you can say, yes, I know I'm at power. Okay, well, let's go take a look. You come up here, and even though you've been here, you knew it was doing it, if you don't have a log sheet saying, I was here just a month ago, they will throw a flag for that. So each time that I come visit that transmitter site or this transmitter site, we actually have to go through, fill a log out, saying, yes, I have positive control, everything looked good. Yes, the calibrations are accurate, and then that's it. That way, if the FCC does ever come up here to inspect us, we can say, look, I was just here 10 days ago checking this, because they just want you to make sure that you are aware of anything going on with the transmitter. That's our responsibility as engineers. So the only way you can prove that you were here is writing it down. So that's another thing that gets filled out. We go through test positive control, calibration. Any errors or messages that you see? No, everything looks good. I said, all right, we're good. And then I'll, head out and their FCC rules are satisfied for another month. They know. So they're really good about, really taking good care of their systems. But that's EMF here. I don't have keys to the other cages, but I do have keys to that cage. So.
Have you ever had an audio issue that just made you upset? don't worry, because one of the sponsors for today's video has you covered, Angry Audio. Angry Audio offers all sorts of gadgets and gizmos, from headphone disconnectors to prevent you from ripping the headphone jack right out of the console, to mic processors and software to make your streams sound amazing. In fact, I'm a customer of Angry Audio, and I'm using the Chameleon C6S software processor on this video. But I want to focus on something specific, the Angry Audio Rave. No, that's not some hot new nightclub in New York. It's their powerful yet affordable audio console built for radio stations just like yours. The Rave has 8 stereo line inputs, up to 4 microphone inputs, 2 output mix buses, 2 mix minus outputs, a monitor feed for your control room, and so much more. The Rave is made of anodized aluminum, and it has avionic style switches, silky smooth faders, and tally outputs for your on-air light, because you don't like it when people walk in when you're on the air. And the Rave isn't just for radio stations. It can also be used for podcasts. Get major market quality at small market prices. Learn more at angryaudio.com. Thank you, Angry Audio, for sponsoring this video. Hi, I'm going to take a moment here and recognize the sponsor of today's video, Linkup Communications. When your content has to get to your audience, you can count on their content distribution using XDS and other industry-leading platforms. Linkup has provided distribution solutions with the highest degree of reliability for over 3 decades. If you're wanting more information about their services or just who are they, visit their website at linkupcommunications.com. And now, back to the video.
So iHeart transmitters, they have 4 stations here. This is a KMYI. That is a Super C transmitter. That right there has the ability to go, I think, up to like 30,000 watts or something, or 40,000 watts, or 40,000 K. So it's a really powerful C. Then the next one over is Rock 105. That's a C like we are. The one next to that is 933. Channel 933 is here also. They're also at 25.5 or 26.5 K license power. And then the transmit at the very end, we'll go around the other side, is the gates. That is for 95.7, and that's not on the combined tower. That's on a separate tower on the right next to us, on the same property. So yeah, when we first moved in here, and they started talking about heat load, they're finding out very quickly that their 10 tons of air conditioner outside was not going to heat this or cool this room well enough. So they had to put another 10 ton in, and they didn't have really a place anywhere else to put it. So there's the air. That's where the air comes from, but the actual compressors and all that are outside.
Okay.
So putting that in actually made it this whole room could be cooled down, because as you can see, we don't have a lot of venting outside. So this needs to be able to handle the heat load. There's a whole lot of reasons for doing that. One is, if you vent it outside, it means you have to have a connection to the outside. Connection to the outside allows dust to come in. Since it's a closed environment, that dust doesn't get in here, which makes it much easier for maintenance. And we don't have to worry about bugs coming in. We don't have to worry about snakes or other critters, wiggling through a hole somewhere, because it's a sealed environment. If it becomes unsealed, then steps are taken to seal it again. So I've been in radio for, believe it or not, I started in radio when I was 15 years old. So been doing this a long time, and I know that there's people that you're trying to encourage them to maybe look into the world of engineering. When I started in radio, I was a board op, spinning records, I was spinning records. I was, playing the Wolfman Jack show on our reel to reel. That's how I started. I left that place because I started getting more and more experience. Worked as a DJ on the #1 radio station down in the Imperial Valley for many years. I was in high school and I was on the air. If you want to learn how technology works, there's still jobs out there that are doing it. There's so many stories that I have out there that I've done out there that, you know, something is built at this point here, and then engineers change over. All of a sudden, that same engineer is no longer there anymore. He takes knowledge with him. So I've come into a situation looking at that saying, what the heck was he doing? You know, then I got to reverse engineer the whole thing and say, okay, I kind of see what he was doing. Update it, fix it, make it better. And then I'm a documentation guy, so I make documentation on everything I do. Say, this is what I did. If you need to do this, you know, look at this sheet. That'll tell you what's going on. And that's something that I'm finding is vitally important. We've had so many things that have failed, and the people just don't know how to fix it because it was put together 10 years ago and the same people aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
so
and there's no documentation?
Exactly. So documentation's key. Got to have that. I got over 35 years in this radio business.
Here in San Diego?
Well, San Diego and Imperial Valley.
Okay,
yes.
Basically like Southern California.
Yeah, oh yeah, Southern California. I came here 1997 is when I started off as a broadcast technician, basically, and then moved up to engineer, then director of automation, then chief engineer, so forth and so on. So all I can say is if you're interested in the technical aspect, if your brain just works that way, it is a great field to get into. It really is. I mean, radio's not as fun as it used to be. It's a little bit more controlled before. I mean, I'm telling you, some of the days back in the days, it was wild. It was wild woolly west of radio. It really was. It really, really was. But so it's lost some of its luster, but it's still a good business. And I think like what we're doing at LMSD, as long as we stay involved in the community, that's what we're here for. You know, we're here for the community. We're here to play you some music. You know, yes, we go against Spotify, we go against Apple Music, we go against Amazon Music, we go against all these different, but the one thing is the personal touch that we can throw into it because we have our DJs that are your friends on the air. If you're thinking about getting into radio, I think it's a good thing. You know, engineering is fun. It's kept me occupied and employed for over 35 years, so. And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, that's it for this tour of Mount Soledad in San Diego. If you like this video, well, watch some of the other transmitter site tours or some of the other studio tours. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning.